Now moving on, Mr. Conway,
Yeah.
I invite you to comment on this purported extension that the president said he gave to the man who sit in the chair. Open the button and the mama. You open the button.
All right. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to open a button. I used to open my also we keep on opening batsman in my school days. Now, let me put things in proper context. The appointment of a commissioner or deputy commissioner is with the president after he had meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition and the chairman of the Police Service Commission, who would have by then consulted with other members of the Service Commission. So, President, whoever he or she may be, consultation with leader of the opposition, meaningful consultation, and chairman of the Police Service Commission, who had consultation with other members, and he within the right to go and appoint that person. It doesn't call for agreement, as is with the case with the Chief Justice and the Chancellor, where you must have agreement. I know they're gonna get it wrong, no one, because I think it's 16 years now they can't get a conform Chief Justice and a Chancellor. Now with Hicken case, Hicken appointment was very controversial. They matter Richie Court and they shelter under the doctrine of necessity. Shelter under the doctrine of necessity. That which was wrong is now made right. Now, Paul Williams was the most senior man after James demitted office. Paul Williams, the only confirmed deputy commissioner of police, and they sent him for enforced to COVID-19 and now to the Civil Defense Commission. So Hicken was appointed to act as commissioner. Very, very, very controversial. Now I understand that his acting appointment has been extended. I've been looking extensively at the Constitution of Guyana. I have my own copy. I have hard copy. I have electronic copy. I'm no attorney at law, but I had a bit of legal training. I lectured to prosecutors. I had I learned a lot by through the process of osmosis in terms of legal issues. And I checked the Constitution of Guyana, and I have not seen the word extension. I have not seen the authority or the article that gives the president the authority to extend the service of a commissioner or deputy commissioner. I have not seen that. Perhaps it's hidden some way. I don't know, but I have not seen it, and I went over it thoroughly. And common sense will tell you also, although common sense isn't commonplace and common in everybody, including senior council and senior leaders of the society, that you cannot extend somebody when his period of appointment has already expired. You can't extend something that has expired. So I don't see how, in heaven's name, the president could have extended Hicken as an acting commissioner of police. I understand the president said he signed some letter. In the interest of accountability and transparency, they should make that letter available to the public. And let us see the right things where the president could say, you know, in relation to the powers vested in me under article, and quote the article, I hereby appoint Ikin to act as deputy, as commissioner of police. I would like to see the letter. And I'd like to see the wordings where the president would quote his authority to extend the commissioner. I have not seen that. I look at the public service rules, public service commission rules, and I haven't seen anything about extension of service of public servants. I don't know where it lies, but I'd be grateful if somebody could indicate to me the the rule in the public service commission rules, and the article in the Constitution of Guyana that gives the president the power, that gives the president the authority to extend. We know we had extension before, but far as concerned, those were illegal. Remember, I think it was Desmond Height um, extending Baron Ragaber's commissioner, later on sending away to India as a commission. I can recall President Jagan extending Larry Lewis twice. And then when he reached 80, he had a court case and he bowed out. I can remember McDonald being extended and he became the deadliest commissioner ever. 26 of his ranks died in actual course of duty. I remember Henry Green was extended and he had to fight the court not to get a rape charge. And also the US has taken away his visa. I remember Bromell had a short period and then somebody took a file to Ramatar and said that Bromell may have without due cause give a man a firearm license, where a certain senior officer took a file there and the Bromell extension came to an end. So I feel if all those extensions were illegal, unconstitutional, and I must mention that the president is a creature of the Constitution. He has to abide with the Constitution. He cannot do things that are breaches of the Constitution, and the president could be removed from office if he breached the Constitution. He could be removed from office. It's clear in the Constitution. And it's clear in an article, I think Article 180, which says that the president could be removed from office, but a big long process. So the president can't do as he like. The president has executive powers, but those executive powers has to be put in place in relation to the Constitution of Guyana. You can't do that. This is not North Korea. The president has got to abide by the Constitution. And if he violates the Constitution, he could be removed from office. There's a legal process. So
Oh, shit.
is unconstitutional.
Yeah, well, let me add my 2 cents to it. My 2 cents is that, one, as you rightly said, we all know it is no secret that on the 22nd of July this year, the man who sits in the chair of the Commissioner of Police reached the mandatory retirement age of 55. I said last week that the protocol in the public service, of which policemen are, we are all part policemen. Let's say we policemen are all part of the public service. That you work or you remain in the service until the last day of the month in which you were born. So in other words, you're born on the 22nd of July, you still have the public service still covers you until the 31st day of July. But on the morning of the 1st of August, all such authority, privilege, immunity is gone. You're no longer a member of the public service. You're no longer a member of the police force. Now, you made a point about persons being extended. You mentioned Mr. Ragabir, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Green, McDonald, and Bromell. The point, a big difference, and I want to make that for those people who are listening. is that, as you pointed out, you can't extend that which is ended. In those cases, those persons were extended before they reached 55. I know now that I said this, they're going to run to backdate and they're going to backdate, but the records can be examined to show once you reach 55, there can be no provision for you to be extended. None whatsoever. The Constitution, Article 211.3, and I'm going to read it quickly because it's short. It's just subject to the provisions of the next following paragraph. The Commissioner of Police shall vacate office when he or she attains such age as may be prescribed by Parliament, not the President. And given all the precedents that we have spoken about, Parliament said 55, you have to go. So if you walk back from the last, you had James 55, well, before James, Silal Pasar 55 gone, Felix 55 gone, and it went on like that. Lloyd Barker gone, Henry Fraser gone. 55, you have to go. That is what it is. Now, the president said, and this is the worrying part, and I hope again that people will challenge these things. The president, and this is not is a less tough set because I listened to the tape, and he said, among other things, I've already issued a letter extending the services of the Commissioner of Police to a date to be determined. Let me read that back. The president said, I've already issued a letter extending the services of the Commissioner of Police to a date to be determined. So this is something that is open-ended. You can stay there till who can determine this date? Not Parliament, the president. And I made a note to let the people know the president is not a king or a sultan. And you are correct. He's a creature of the Constitution, and therefore he is compelled to follow the Constitution. However, having said that, we have seen numerous cases, including a case that I brought against the president, where the judge ruled that he violated the Constitution. So this is not the first time. And if you go on my page, sometime last week or before the last, I said that my crystal ball, I looked into my crystal ball and I see constitutional violation coming up. I know, I read in this thing, people who call me would say, man, oh, you Obia man, and you seen this thing. I say, yeah, I see how this game gonna play out. I have seen how this thing will play out. I have seen. So it didn't surprise me. It did not surprise me. So when the Volkswagenists, and I'm gonna deal with that just now, come and talk a lot of crap there and so on. I'm gonna deal with the Volkswagenists because he mentioned me by name. Normally he just ignore it, or she, or it, or them, whatever it is, whatever fits them. Right? I'm gonna address that shortly. But I'm saying that the president, as the point of CC, if you are going to extend someone in office, because remember, another crucial point, and I hope again that the lawyers are listening, is that the substantive rank of the man who sits in the chair is assistant commissioner. So you're extending me as assistant commissioner? Where is the authority to so do? And as you rightly pointed out, if you're going to issue a letter to extend someone, in that letter you will have to say where your authority comes from. In other words, you will start to say, by virtue of the authority vested in me under section so, the law, or under article. That is how you got to say it. You have got to point out your authority, not just say, well, I'm staying. And again, the question is asked, why is it that they will take such action against, or in favor of this man? Well, you got to protect them. So when you get the next Dharamlal, or you get them things there, these people can come and they can bat for you. That is the only reason why some of them are in those positions, so that when you have incidents, I'm talking about incidents, those of you who are on social media, I see another minister getting skin up on social media with some beauty queen, right? I see, let me see where the one goes well. Let's see another one get skin up on the thing. So you have to get people like the man who sit in the chair to run cover for you when these things happen, right? So, and that is what I want to say about that. And again, I am hoping that the legal minds who are in Guyana will take up this matter. And again, this is not a personality thing. Let me understand this thing clearly. This is not a personality thing. This is the Constitution. And the president has shown that an inclination to violate the Constitution. And every time it is violated, we should make sure that the courts intervene. They really don't care. They really don't care. And somebody comment to say you're heading towards a dictatorship. Perhaps you're already there. Because if it is that the president can just violate the constitution and do your own thing, and again, understand this, understand this. The president said, and again, it's not so what they say that he said. I heard it with my own ears and I made a note. I have already issued a letter extending the services of the Commissioner of Police to a date to be determined. To a date to be determined. So he can determine that the man immediate till he's old like Methuselah, 1890. That is what is written there. And some people say them police are still, they just comment. The man said, well, like he said, they comment that maybe you want a military funeral, right? And let me say this too. See, I'm going to ask you to comment on this part. The culture of the Guyana Police Force. I've been associated with the Guyana Police Force since 1973. So I know something about the culture of the Guyana Police Force. The culture of the Guyana Police Force is not kind to persons who, especially those senior persons who stand in such circumstances. If you're a specialist, yeah, if you're a specialist, they can accept you. But you see, in the post of deputy commissioner and commissioner in particular, when your time come to go and they see you hanging around, no more respect. I remember, as you said, Larry Lewis. I remember Larry Lewis. Once Larry Lewis reached 55, the respect that he was shown up to that time had almost vanished. People treated him scantily. No respect. Because they say you're squatting. You are squatting. Henry Green was even worse. McDonald, according to the people from the country, McDonald was worser. No respect at all for him. Police dying and he's sitting there twiddling his thumbs. He couldn't make any proper intervention and so on. So the thing is not, and to say further, Ragobir did not end well. We knew how Henry Green ended. McDonald with all the deaths and so on. So it is not kind. It is not kind. So let me see where this one will go. Let's see where this one will go. See?
As he rightly said, it will not go well because there are high expectations. The admin man has his expectation. The ops man, the CID man, the Suku man, the man from the branch also. They all have expectations and talking about the branch, I don't have a crystal ball, but three little birds whisper something to me recently that as part of the Indianization of the Guyana police force, the intelligence man will be removed shortly, and an Indian, a triple jumper, will take the position there. I don't mind you Indianizing, but you must Indianize with competent persons. So look out.